Welcome in on a Friday, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. So you see the map there. Let's talk about this. Sightings of drones in the sky, the size of cars, now dominating headlines in New Jersey. Now also sightings reported in New York, Pennsylvania, and in Maryland. The question of what they are now in 4 states and in the minds of multiple lawmakers and even the White House. In fact, listen to National Security spokesman John Kirby addressing the concerns.
While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well.
Our CBS News national investigative correspondent Tom Hanson met with a drone unit expert. Tom, a wingspan of 8 feet, and then you just hear him use the term potential threats. What do you make of all of this?
Yeah, well, Reed, that's exactly right. These are huge devices that are hovering out in the sky, and we don't still know who they are coming from, where they are coming from, what they're doing here. But what I can tell you is that obviously the size of these devices is a huge concern, because a lot of people are asking out there, why not just shoot them down? And, you know, even the sheriff that we met up with this past night, he said that given the chance, he would shoot one down too. But these are public safety concerns. Think of, you know, that Mini Cooper, that small car falling from 1,000 feet in the air. That could do some serious damage to anyone who's beneath it. And sorry, my earpiece is falling out here. But basically, you know, that is front of mind, no doubt, for all authorities here. But we still don't have the answers as to who's behind this. We do know that these are sophisticated things. Another thing the sheriff told me was that basically these drones have been able to outmaneuver the police drones, meaning they are moving faster than the police drones, which can reach a max speed of 40 miles per hour. They estimate that these drones can travel even faster, all the way up to 60 miles an hour. So they are moving quickly at laser speed through the sky.
Tom, we're also hearing of some letters fired off by key senators to the FAA, the Department of Homeland Security, even the FBI. Who sent those letters and what are they demanding?
Yeah, a coalition of 4 senators from New Jersey and New York. They've banded together to push the FAA, FBI, and DHS to get some answers. They want to hear exactly what those federal government agencies are doing with municipal governments in order to get to the bottom of this growing mystery that seems to, you know, continue to grow in complexity as well. So, you know, that really is the basis of their letter. It was to issue frustration. It was to express concern for the public and for instance, critical operations within the public, like medevac helicopters. That was specifically referenced in that letter. So there is mounting frustration. They want answers. And clearly, it just adds another group of people who don't have any answers as to what's going on.
All right, so we're going to go even deeper, Tom. Speaking of lawmakers, New York officials in Staten Island held a news conference earlier calling for answers, too. Just to add to the conversation, let's listen to this.
Just be straight with us. Tell us what it is. And let's address it the best possible way so we can calm everyone down and make sure that these don't pose a threat to our national security and public safety. Because even if it is not nefarious, the fact that these things are flying all over is a public safety issue. There can be an accident. There could be an explosion. There could be a crash. This is a very densely populated area. And going back to the FAA restrictions, you cannot be flying these things above and around buildings if it's commercial or recreational. So something's not right here, and we need our government to give us answers and also put in place restrictions so that this does not continue and enforce the existing regulations and restrictions. And that means our government needs to follow those rules as well.
Yeah, to borrow her words, Tom, something's not right. And really, you've been covering this story from the very beginning. It's like this drumbeat gets louder and louder. Lawmakers frustrated, the public frustrated. They want answers, any timeline as to when some of these letters fired off or some of these calls at news conferences could get answered with some answers?
Well, we know that the FBI is working in tandem with the municipal governments, but beyond that, we are getting so many conflicting theories as to where these drones are coming from. It's abundantly clear that no one really has an answer right now. You heard John Kirby saying that it's not a threat to national security, yet you have representatives on Capitol Hill saying that it is a foreign adversary. You have, just a lot of different theories out there, but not a lot of evidence. And all of these things have been followed up with a request for concrete factual evidence. And it just seems more and more to that drumbeat analogy that you said that we may finally get answers once one of these drones crashes into the ground or lands and is secured by law enforcement, but we are still waiting for that to happen. Once there can be forensics run on these drones, which are, as I mentioned, so highly sophisticated and can move so quickly, this is not a hobbyist using these drones. That is abundantly clear to law enforcement. Once we can run forensics on these drones, then the answers will become clearer as to who, where, and why they are here.
First New Jersey, now 4 states in total. Tom Hanson, thank you so much for investigating.